Hi there, this is Sherry Hayes with MomDelights.com, and today I have a great subject. I know we're all very interested in curriculum purchases about now, and I'm going to suggest that maybe expensive curriculum isn't that necessary. So I hope you'll stay with me and I'll have more. So is expensive curriculum necessary? Well, it kind of depends, doesn't it? I mean, everybody's in a different place. Some of us are just starting out and we're getting our sea legs. Each curriculum is different, so we have to evaluate it from that perspective. Some curriculums are patterned after conventional schooling and produce similar results, which I consider are mediocre and they're dull. Okay. Others are more literature-based, but also more overreaching, and they're also dull. Still others, they strike a pretty good balance. They give some structure, but allow for adjustment and interest, and those are the best. But is it necessary? I mean, to pay that much money in order to get your kids a curriculum that will teach them what they need to know in order to get along in life, in order to do a good job, in order to be, successful, right? So we're going to explore that here. So why do we think we need expensive curriculum? And I kind of have a suspicion believe me, this is not totally across the board. Everybody's got their different things. I understand that. But I think within us, I know this within me, okay? I know it's in me. If I have a problem, okay, my first inclination, because I have been conditioned to believe that if I have a problem, I can go and buy something that will help me with the problem. And it has to be tailored to the problem. And, we have all these different things, like for weight loss. What do we have? We have weight. It was originally just Weight Watchers, right? But now we have like all these different programs and these different diets. And if you get this one shake, that'll do it. No, you need this supplement over here. No, you need this special program of exercise over here. No, really, you don't have to change your eating or your exercise. Just do this, whatever it is. And then you have to pay in order to find what that is. But, we think if we just add something to our life, we just buy something. When we buy something, we can get the problem solved. So we think, man, I'm going to homeschool my kids. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with them. I'll buy something, right? And so it's not bad that we have the system where people are encouraged then to solve problems and they make money. That's capitalism. That's innovation. That's invention. There's nothing wrong with that. However, what we find usually is that the most basic, excellent materials take us the farthest. And I will give an example. Okay, so we have a fish pond in our backyard, and we have 3 very interesting koi and 2 koi goldfish. Now, we have a koi that is about, I'd say he's about, I don't know if I can show you, he's about this long and this fat. I'm not kidding. We call him Pete, okay? And then we have another one that's a little bit smaller, and one's a little bit smaller, and then we have the 2 koi goldfish. They're about this long. So this pond isn't huge. I mean, it's not expensive. It's just something that somebody got, the people before us got, like at Lowe's or Home Depot, and they just dug a hole and they stuck in this pond and they put a little water feature. It's really pretty, really nice. But we have the worst time with cloudiness in that pond. I mean, we tried everything. We bought the fancy schmancy filter that you put in the thing, so we did that, and that didn't work. And then we bought all the things that you pour in to clump it and to fix it and to kill the bad stuff and put good stuff in there. I mean, we must have spent, $150 or more just trying to find the right stuff. I mean, for the stupid fish. I know, we're crazy. But anyway, so we kept trying these things, and one day, the filter, the expensive filter that we bought, was finally shot, because it's the type that you have to clean it and squeeze all the gook out of it, and what a mess. And so this expensive filter was shot, and I said, well, I heard they use some quilt batting. So we went down to Hobby Lobby and we bought quilt batting, and we put quilt batting as a filter for our pump. And within a few days, boom, the pond was clear. Yeah. The quilt batting that we used, a little bit of quilt batting we used, probably cost us $1.50. And here we spent $150 before that. Now just think about that for a minute. That's what education is. I mean, I've studied it inside, outside, upside down. I've read the books. I've made all the studies. I've read all kinds of stuff on education. I mean, different methods and everything. I've put in everything. And I bought stuff. I mean, I bought Bob Jones' curriculum. I bought Rod and Staff. I had some Abeka. I did all this kind of stuff. I had these loads of things when I first started out, especially. I just had these stacks of all this stuff that I was forcing my kids to go through. And I'm telling you, it was a slavery. And it just, I mean, it was good. It was pretty. I felt so good. You know that rush when you feel like you go to the store and you got this stack of news. You're opening your packages, and think about all the unboxings on video, right? It's like, oh, the channels, and they unbox their new curriculum, and like it's from some like Abeka, whatever the big producers, right? And they're opening these boxes and all these beautiful new books come out and these workbooks and these teachers things and all this stuff comes out and it's just so thrilling and we just get so excited. But then at the end of the day, about halfway, maybe about 3 or 4 months later, you're saying, okay, we hate this. We hate this stuff. Or maybe this part works, but this part is hateful. I can't stand it. And then you find out, okay, well, we know this, and then so you use maybe 20 pages out of a 100-page workbook, and you're just so filled with guilt because you're wasting, you spent $50 for this, you spent $135 for this math curriculum, and you can't do it, right? And so you're just, oh, it's awful. So it's kind of like the $150 we poured into our pond. We could have spent, well, actually the whole roll of the quilt batting, which we can use we can just throw it away too. It wasn't like the expensive filter that we had to gush and smush and clean. This one, you just use $1.50's worth and you throw it out. So the whole bag costs like between $6 and $9, and you just do a little bit at a time and you can throw it out and it keeps it cleaner than anything. Oh man, that's what homeschooling is like. This is why we are so dangerous to the establishment. Because we prove, do you know what public schools are spending? I looked it up like the other day. They, federal and state and local funds combined is an average of $15,000 per student per year. And if you took $15,000 and you multiply, let's say that you had a classroom of 20 students, right? What is 20 times 15,000? That's $300,000 per year per classroom of students. Now, that poor teacher is not making $300,000 a year. And you got to figure in overhead. Overhead isn't like if you split it in half and gave the teacher $150,000 a year. Would it cost $150,000 to maintain the facilities that somebody needs for a classroom? Seriously. When you look at it like that, do you see how dangerous homeschooling is to the establishment? It's really, 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 really threatening, because we can do this. You can have the most basic but the most excellent materials for a very affordable price, and you can do a better job than what public schooling or conventional schooling is doing. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of Christian schools or private schools, they don't spend that much money either, and they do a bang-up job. Lots of them. I mean, if you're going to follow the convention schooling model, you're not going to be as successful as private tutoring, which is the same as homeschooling. So anyway, let's move on. Okay, so I've gone over this. I'm sorry, I show you my notes because I think it's interesting, right? So I know that a lot of us, when we hit that bump where we have our beautiful, wonderful, hundreds of dollars curriculum, I looked it up. I think like most curriculum runs between, the cheapest I saw for like a complete curriculum, and I think that was Master Books, was around $200, and then it went all the way up to $1,000. And that's a lot of money. And even if you're going to do the videos or whatever. And so a lot of us, we spend this money and we think we are doing homeschooling, and we hit this bump where we hate it and it costs money. The kids are like, they're not settling down and they're not, we don't see that success thing. Like, our kids went to Harvard, and you're thinking, my kid is not going to make it past the 12th grade doing it this way. I can't do it. So we hit this point and we go, okay, homeschooling we tried it. It doesn't work for us, right? No, wait. It's because the way that people tell you, the people who want to sell you this stuff, they want to make money. You understand? So it behooves them to convince you that you need an expert to help you. So that's why they're going to sell you this stuff. Bless their hearts. Okay. Not everybody is the same. Not everybody has ulterior motives. I'm just saying, by and large, that's really the reason. And so you go, okay, well, homeschooling doesn't work for me, but there's more. Okay. You can have an orderly, excellent program for your children without spending all that money. You can. In fact, all you really need is some basic school supplies. I have Schul. Look, I didn't even put a C there. Oh, well. Supplies. Now, do you think I should be teaching children such as paper, pencils, crayons, scissors, and glue, and a printer and the internet, things most of us have already, right? Even if you don't have the internet or a printer, if you have some school supplies and a library card, you can do just fine. Or you can build up your own library of books, grab some encyclopedias, and you can have a wonderful curriculum for your kids. And it will be basic, excellent, and affordable. Okay. I'm the mom of 15 children. I don't know if you know that. Maybe some new people are watching. I have 15 children, and I have been homeschooling for 33 years. And I got to tell you that I have spent on the average of about $150 a year on homeschooling supplies. Yeah, I know. And I've been able, now in the beginning I spent, well, things were cheaper then. But in the beginning, maybe I spent more because I was actually buying curriculum. But then it got less and less. Some years I didn't hardly have anything. And I just had to like wing it, But I had about an average of like $150 a year. Can you imagine? And most of that was just building up our home library. Like whenever I had some extra money, I'd just buy a used book or, take $10, go down to a book sale and see what I could find. I'm serious. And I just used some basic principles, which we'll talk about in a minute. So listen, my kids are excellent learners. My kids retain what they learn. My kids have gone on to do some amazing things. I could brag, but I won't. That doesn't mean they all are rocket scientists or they're all just these paragons of virtue and everything. I mean, we have our black sheep too, all right. But by and large, I was able to do a crack-up job with just stuff that people think is common, but they have actual educational value. Okay, one of the best things I learned how to do was to use the McGuffey readers. This is like, people say there's no silver bullet. I really think McGuffey readers are the silver bullet for homeschooling. And this is because the McGuffey readers have been around forever. Now, this is one that I printed and bound myself. Now, I got this file from Dollar Homeschool, which I'll leave the link below, and I've actually done the introductions to some of their CDs. But anyway, yeah, this is the McGuffey's fourth alternate reader, but this is just an example. I own all the McGuffeys. I own the original McGuffey readers from the 1830s, and I just love the McGuffeys. And I have developed actually a system where you can take advantage of everything in them. If you're not familiar with them, I have oodles and oodles of blog posts and oodles of videos all about the McGuffey readers. I sell lesson books, which I have either you get the sheets for free, or they are in print and they are extremely affordable. Anyway, so I sell those for the McGuffey readers. This is something because the vocabulary, the sentence structure, you can teach your kids reading, writing, spelling, and grammar using these books. It is so simple. I'm serious. Okay. So that's like the silver bullet. And this right here, if you purchase the whole series and you take care of it by putting covers on them, you can see that in my videos too. These will last through lots of kids. So like you have an initial investment of maybe $150 for both the original and revised sets. those will last through multiple kids through multiple years. And there you go. There's your language arts. Ta-da! We're done, right? So, but there's more. I mean, you know, when you want your kids to know about geography and history and all the, and you know, civics and all those wonderful things. And there are so many ways you could do this that don't take hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You just have to build up your confidence. You see, our system is made so that we feel inept and unable to do basic things, so that we have to depend on the powers that be and the so-called experts that really they really lead us astray. They have led us away from God's principles, and they have tried to destroy us. So let's get back to what really works. And I will show you something that I produced that I think you'll like, that you can get for free. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to put your email in any place. You just go to my blog post and you can download it for free. And this is besides the McGuffey readers. This is like the rest of this stuff, right? So this is my guide. It's Homeschool for Cheap or Free guide, okay? And you can get this, like I said, for free download. And in here, I go over a basic idea of what education looks like. You know, if you pulled out and saw the big picture, this is the basics right here. And then I just go into a philosophy, and then I give book lists and suggestions and how to use them and all that kind of thing. On my site, I just revamped my entire freebies page. So I'll link that below too. If you go to my freebies page, you will find free things to download to use for your children. All kinds of stuff. Right now I'm working on something I'm calling silly spelling. And that's to go along. Some kids need a little more help. And so I based my silly spelling on a couple of things I'll explain later. And you'll see when I come out with it. I'll explain everything. But anyway, so that's going to be for free too, or for a very affordable, you know, printed version. So anyway, so here's this guide. I've got all kinds of supplies, math, reading, grammar, and so that's for free. I will link that below. So see, you really don't have to spend a lot of money, but you can still have the rush of getting things and receiving, you know, like if you go on eBay and get old books, or you go to a bookstore and you find really cool, like this, using these lists in here, you can find old stuff or used stuff, or you know, I did a series like on the math, on the Wentworth math and the different math programs. I mean, there's so much out there. It takes a little bit of work to put it together, but not as much as you would think. I'm serious. It's fun. It's fun to put something together. And you know, if you want to go a little fancy, like you can get one of these comb binders. There's $50, and then you just, you know, like I got some cardstock, right? And I did that. And there's all kinds of fun free stuff online that you can get. Like for instance, this is a free piano course thing, and it has links to do like online little exercises and everything. My daughter right now is going through it, and they even have the beginning sheet music. This is all totally free. Right here, I'll try to remember to put that link below. And so I took piano for a lot of years, so I teach my kids basic music, so I can teach them, you know, I'm teaching her piano. My husband teaches them guitar. We have like 8 guitars in our house right now, and we all sit and play them at once. Isn't that a joy? But this is something that I have that I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I've offered this, but this is pretty easy. This is an example of what we've been able to do. This is my daughter, who's 15, and this is her, let's see, this is Charles Dawson Stanley, I think it is. Charles Dawson, okay. So this is a poet she liked, and so she wrote about him. She has, you know, this is on what we call a notebooking page. And she's taken advantage of this, and this is one of the things she wrote about. And this is the mummification process. Okay, now she has, there's one of those jars, I forget what they're called, canoptic jars, and this is mummy resin recipe. And she's written all about it. This is just an example of something we've done. And here is, now she loves Lord of the Rings, so oh, here, oh, wait a minute. The Science of Home Economics. And she wrote a whole essay on that. That was fun. And this is early Daniel Boone. Okay. This is really cool. She's written about that. This is Tolkien, and this is from the Christian History magazine, which we talked about. So she took that and she's written an essay about him, really quick. Okay, so there's just some things that she's done. Here is another example of my other daughter who has been reading through The Story of Liberty by Charles Coffin. And I believe I think I put these for free online. So if you go to my freebies page, you should be able to find this. So I have the cover, and then I have these notebooking pages. This is one she did, which this is the Magna Carta. This is how it is in the museum. She tried to draw that. And then she wrote about it, and some different things. This is, I think this is this is the whole, I don't know what she did there. And so, let's see, let me show a really cool, oh, this is, King Henry VIII. And so she drew his picture, and she did not like him very much because in the Story of Liberty, he's not very great. This is the, let's see, The Man Who Can Do No Wrong. This is about someone being poisoned, and she talks about that. So anyway, so that's basically some of the history of England and Europe and America, and it's all really all cool. So she's written about that in here. So that's just examples of some notebooking pages we did, and we didn't like have to have a whole, you know, workbooking thing and like all the, I don't have to have a teacher's manual. You see how much more affordable that is? And it doesn't take oodles and oodles of time. She writes this and she really enjoys it when she does it. And then I look at it and I think, oh, well, that's really cool. And I might go in and maybe correct some spelling or something like that. But over the years, I found that if I just keep the kids writing, eventually it gets better and better and better. I kind of work myself out of a job. But, you know, we do some grammar too. I have gentle grammar, and then we do Harvey's grammar and on like that. So anyway, so this is what you can do. You can set yourself free from feeling as though if you're not spending a lot of money, then you're not being a good homeschooler. I understand the status. I understand. So-and-so is using this curriculum. She's online. She's really prolific, and she suggests it. So I got to get this, honey. You're going to have to give me $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 for our kids because this is the best. And you know, the husband goes, man, I want the best for my kids, right? And so you get in that trap, but you don't have to go there. You don't have to go there. Look, this is a mom of 15 saying it, all right? I have graduated so far. I've graduated 11 children. And I'm telling you, you don't need to spend the money, okay? So, and they've gone to college too, by the way. Okay. Not all of them, but lots of them. So now I'm going to give you something more. So I went to, I started going to a woman's Bible study at our church, and it's really neat. I mean, our church is huge, all right? It's like 5,000 members. And so I felt the Lord, we're kind of new to this church, and I felt the Lord wanted me to do something to get more acquainted with some of the people. So I went to this women's Bible study, and someone had suggested that men need us women to kind of guide them and help them with their aggressive behavior. And we sat in our small group, and our small group leader said she didn't really like that idea, that she felt like men are already attacked in every sector of our society, and that we should be more supportive of them. And then we all sat around and started confessing how we're actually mean to our husbands. And we prayed for each other, and we asked the Lord to help us to find ways just to keep us from being so mean. Okay, so basically, I went home and I just was frustrated. I was frustrated. And I was, you know, everything my husband, I don't know what was going on, but everything my husband said was bad and mean, and I just didn't like him, and I just felt like stressed, really super stressed. And I talked to the Lord. I said, Lord, what is going on? Can you help me to deal with this stress? So he said, Sherry, oh, Sherry, you know, that still small voice. Sherry, I think that you should look at all the things you think your husband is horrible about, and I think you should like take them apart for a minute, and you'll see that really they're all just a whole bunch of little tiny irritations that you have allowed to build up to where now you are about to blow your stack, and really he's not doing anything wrong. And so, yeah. So then he led me to this scripture. And I know you've heard it before. Let me look it up. Okay, it's 1 Corinthians 13:5. Okay, so I'm going to read it in some different versions so that you'll understand what he was trying to get across. Okay, this is about love. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. So you've heard that before. I've heard that before. We've all heard it before. Let me do it in a different translation. Okay. Let's see. I'm good to go to. Okay. Where is it at? I know there's a good one. Let's see. So how about or rude? It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable. And it keeps no record of being wronged. Well, that was already messing with me. How about this one? It's not easily provoked. Let's see. Is not provoked. Let's see. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not provoked, nor overly sensitive and easily angered. It does not take into account a wrong endured. Interesting. Boy, now it's really, really poking me. All right. Now, we had our grandkids over. Their parents went off for a weekend because of it was their anniversary. And so we had 4 little kids in our house, and little kids interrupted me all the time, and the little kids were doing everything that my husband was doing, but I had perfect patience with them because they were little kids. And I just, whatever they wanted, I dropped everything and did it for them, and I didn't feel one little bit of resentment or irritation. I just did it. And the Lord said, Sherry. And I said, oh, yes, Lord. Do you see that your little grandkids are not bothering you, but they're doing the same thing your poor husband does, and you do not like him? And I said, oh, my goodness, Lord, I have been really doing that. And so then he took me to another scripture and reminded me of another one. Now, so see, this is what happens when you put the Word of God in you. Then the Holy Spirit can bring it back to you when you need it. Does that happen to you? It happens to me all the time. Okay, so we're going to go to Song of Solomon. We're going to go to chapter 2 and verse 15. And let's see, I'm getting there. Okay, so this is going to be an interesting verse, and hopefully you can catch the gist here. It says, here's the NIV, catch for us the foxes, the little foxes that ruin the vineyards, our vineyards that are in bloom. Oh, that's really sweet, isn't it? Or, in the New King James Version, catch us the foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vines, for our vines have tender grapes. And the Lord said, Sherry, you are allowing the little foxes to tear down the tender vines of your love for your husband. And I realized that what was happening was I was allowing the little foxes to go in and take down the love that I had for my husband. I was allowing it to build up an offense. Did you know that when someone gets offended, they can't see or hear anything else? And boy, I repented. And there were tears. There were tears that were shed. And after that, the peace and the joy that I felt was so amazing. It was so worth it. It was so worth it. And I've got to tell you, every time that he does something that would bothered me before, I just go, wow, that's just a little fox. I don't have to pay attention to it, do I? And the Lord says, nope, Sherry, you just put that out of your mind. And it's not because I'm being tread on or anything. My husband is not doing things like that. It's just things like I'll feel interrupted, okay? Or he'll ask me something and I don't really feel like doing that at the moment. And you see, he's home now because he's retired. Okay, so this is a new season for me. But if I look at him the same way, with the same love and the same forbearance that I use towards my grandchildren, you know what? I have gotten rid of all my stress. And I felt so much joy. I wish I had done. I said, Lord, don't let me get to this point again. Remind me. Smack me. So anyway, I hope this has caused you to maybe laugh at yourself a little bit. Maybe after listening to this, your husband is going to want to kiss me. Oh, you have a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe. Bye-bye.